And the way of the Rebbe to make a סיום every day for which Mנחem over till 15 באוב. We have the honor today to have a Choshev Yoman from the Monnari with the Yeshiva Samchatim, Rav Chosid, Rav Moshe, הכהן is going to make a סיום on מסכת ברכות. Before we start the סיום, the way of the Rebbe ציבור משפטים בודם ושווה בצדוקה, צדוקה בציבור. Everybody should give צדוקה בציבור. Rav Moshe, בבקשה.
Okay, סיום on מסכת ברכות, the last few lines. Omer Ablevi Barchia, Hayetzem Beis HaKnesses, V'nichnes Beis HaMedrash, V'isek B'teira, Zeichel Mekabel B'nei Shechina. So, we're talking that he's going straight from Shul, he's going straight to the Beis HaMedrash, and the Schar Zeichel Mekabel B'nei Shechina. The Maharsha explains that Zeichel Mekabel B'nei Shechina, upon him the way the Maharsha explains it, that he's Zeichel to the Indian to be able to be Oile Shal Shugalim, and that's the Indian of Zeichel Mekabel B'nei Shechina. And it's learned out Shenemar Yelchol Mechayil Al Chayil Yirol Al Kim B'tzion. And the limit from the pasuk is Chayil Al Chayil. Chayil is like a union of Rabbim. So when he's in the Beis HaKnesses, there's a tzibur, there's a minyan. So he's going from one Chayil to another Chayil. In the Beis HaMedrash, there's learning with a Chabura. There's also another Rabbim. That's the limit from the pasuk. So when there's Yelchol Mechayil Al Chayil straight from the Beis HaKnesses to the Beis HaMedrash, then there's a union of Yirol Al Kim B'tzion. That's the Schar. That's the Zeichel Mekabel B'nei Shechina. Which means that they're constantly learning and going up in their madrega and limud Torah, say over here in this world, and it doesn't stop. Even in Elam Haba, even in Gan Eden, there's these aliyahs in their limud Torah, and it's learned out from Yelchol Mechayil or Chayil again. The union of that there's a union of Rabbin, there's a union of limud al Pipasha. That's what it means. Is from the Chayil that down here is there's a Chayil in also in Elam Haba. Yirol Kim B'tzion. So I just want to mention something from the Rebbe, not to take too much time, but in Tov Shalom Amid Hey, which was mentioned yesterday, that's when the Rebbe spoke about making siyumim. So right before Rish Chedesh, the Rebbe spoke and said that they should make ishtadlus miyachedes to make siyumim. And then on Dalit, which is like now, Dalit, between Dalit and Hey, Mincha time, the Rebbe mentions the Rebbe. So the Rebbe also said before Rish Chedesh that you should say a vart of Darizal on the Yartzeit of Darizal. Tonight is the Yartzeit of Darizal. So quickly on this Inyan of Eila Menucha, the Rebbe brings the Maharsha, that the Maharsha says, how could you say that the Talmidei Chachamim don't have Menucha in Elam Haba? It says clearly, Liyim Shekul Shabbos a Menucha L'chai Elam Haba, which is from Masechtas Tamid, but you see from here that Elam Haba is connected with Menucha. So that's the Shal of the Maharsha. So the Rebbe brings from the Arizal, so here the Rebbe is like quoting the Arizal, which is Yard says tonight, from Likutei Hashas of the Arizal. The Rebbe says in the order that in the Arizal, in the Kisv Arizal, you find things also Al Derech HaPshat, seemingly that this is like what the Rebbe is going to quote from the Arizal is more Al Derech HaPshat. That what? That the Arizal says on this thing of Eilam Menucha Leib Eilam Haza Leib Abba, he says that in the Eilam Shla Acher HaMissa, Talmidei Chachamim are Eiskim B'Teira, and they attack Eila and they don't stop. And even Moshe Rabbeinu, B'chol Yom V'Yom is Eilo Masig Yeser. And the Lashon Arizal is Kamesha Hashem Yisbarach Ein Lo Seif Kach Teirasei Ein Lo Seif. And the Rebbe here in the Sikha, the same drasha is brought on also by Katan with small shinuyim, and the Rebbe explains that the Ein La Menucha over here is a higher Ein La Menucha, which is a Shlei Lefi Erech, and Torah is different kinds of aliyahs. But the Rebbe is connected. When the Rebbe explains that over here it's a very high aliyah, he actually says from the fact that the Arizal says Ein La Yisaf, the Kal Teirasei Ein Lo Seif. We're talking about aliyahs, Ribu aliyahs in Shlei Lefi Erech. One is Shlei Lefi Erech higher than the one before, and then the Arizal connects it. That it says in Tillim. It's saying that what does it mean Yitza Adam L'fa'olei? The Yitza Adam is referring to when the neshama is leaving the body. And what does it mean L'fa'olei? That over there in Gan Eden, it's a connection what he did in Elam Hazeh. Apipasha, it means a connection with his Torah that he learned in Gan Eden. All these aliyahs are in connection with what he learned in Elam Hazeh. Bamesh Shapal B'Elam Hazeh. And then he says, then is Lavedase, which the Rebbe says in the order that Tzarchion, what's the chiluk between Lefa'olei and Lavedase, but there is mentioning that it's another Madrega. The first, the Lefa'olei, that he's having these aliyahs and limit Torah based on his Aved in Elam Hazeh, and then there's Inyan of Lavedase. And then he says, he's Tereach Adei Arev. Arev is Elam Hazeh. Elam Haza is like Arev, and Adei Arev means that these aliyahs that's happening in Gan Eden lasts until Elam Atchiyah, until Elam Haza is finished. Meaning this whole Aveda that's going on in Gan Eden, that a person La'achar HaMisah, which the Rebbe says later in the Sikh, we're talking about Be'ikir, people that are Yeshva'il, that are learning B'chayayim. And these aliyahs that are happening is until this man of Tchiyah, Adei Arev, until Golos, which is called Arev, till Elam Haza, which is called Arev, is finished. Once we reach Elam Tchiyah, then it stops. So the Rebbe says, based on this Arizal, you can understand the question of the Marsha. The Marsha is asking that in Elam Haba is Yom Shekul Shabbos and Menucha, but that is referring to Elam Tchiyah. Once you reach as man of Elam Tchiyah, then it's Taka, there's no more of these Aveda, of these Aliyahs in Limud HaTorah. But over here in the Gemara, Tamid Chacham Elam Menucha is referring to before Elam Atchiyah, when there's still Elam Haza, then there is this union of Elam Menucha, Live Elam Haza, Live Elam Haba. Okay, finished. That they're Mar B'Shalom B'Elam Shnei V'Chol B'nayich L'Mudei Hashem V'Rab Shalem B'nayich. I'll take a B'nayich L'B'nayich. It's an extra B'nayich. If it's just to say B'nayich, you could say V'Rav Shleimam or something. There's an extra B'nayich, it's seemingly extra, so there's a cleaning sieve, you see it's B'nayich, you see it's Moshe, a building establishing Shalom. For various reasons, that the Talmidei Chacham are bringing Shalom. Shalom Rav Le'eves Eresachel Ve'elam Michshel. There's a Shalom between the Eves Eresachel, which helps that they don't have Michshel. Yi Shalom B'chelach Shalom B'Ameneseich Manach Avedei Adab Shalom Bach Man Beis Adin Elena V'Akshet Tevlach Adinei Zamita Adinei Baruch Hazam V'Shalom Hadin Aloch Haraya V'Slikol Mesachtas Brachas. Some the chiyuv. Skada biskada shmei rabba yom adver khurus vi amol machos vi yats ma berkan vi kar mishichei khayech memich man khayde khav isis rabba goz ma kar vim rabba yeh shmei rabba barak dol yom ma yizbar vi shtab vi sbar besim bisnas vi sadar vi salab salab shmei kut shbricho ve elam ba khas vi shiras shbe khas na khamaz min ba ma vim rabba ayso va rabbanot hamdin ma kol tamid samdin ma kol man das kem bereis di basra din vi di bkhalas avasar yeh lein khin shlo rabba khin vi khiz brach ma khayde likhim zain vi khuf kan me kadam vi bishmai vim rabba yeh shlam rabba mishmai v'chaim tevim leinu b'kol Yisrael v'imru amein. Eis Hashem, name of Yas Hashem leinu b'kol Yisrael v'imru amein.